Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're exploring another fascinating American coins that many people overlook every single day. Coin number 1. This 1965 Washington quarter without a mint mark. At first glance, it may appear to be just another old quarter that has darkened over the years into what many collectors call a black-toned condition. But could this ordinary-looking coin actually be worth hundreds of dollars under the right circumstances? In today's video, we'll uncover the fascinating history of the 1965 Washington quarter, explain why it has no mint mark, discuss its design, composition, grading, mint errors, and reveal what collectors search for when evaluating these remarkable coins. The year 1965 marked one of the most important transitions in the history of United States coinage. During the early 1960s, the rising price of silver caused millions of Americans to save silver coins instead of spending them. This created a nationwide coin shortage. To solve the problem, Congress passed the Coinage Act of 1965, replacing the traditional 90% silver quarter with a new copper-nickel-clad version. The 1965 Washington quarter became the first regular-issue quarter struck without silver for circulation, making it an important milestone in American numismatic history. Another unusual feature of the 1965 quarter is the complete absence of a mint mark. Between 1965 and 1967, the United States Mint intentionally removed mint marks from circulating coins to reduce collector hoarding and improve coin production. Although these quarters were struck at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, none of them display a mint mark. This means that if you see a regular 1965 Washington quarter with a D mint mark, it is not an official circulation issue. Looking at the obverse of the coin, you'll immediately recognize John Flanagan's classic portrait of George Washington facing left. Above the portrait is the word Liberty, while In God We Trust appears to the left. The date 1965 is displayed below Washington's bust. Despite the removal of the mint mark, the overall design remained nearly identical to earlier Washington quarters, preserving one of America's most iconic coin designs. The reverse features the majestic eagle standing with its wings spread wide while clutching a bundle of arrows. Beneath the eagle are olive branches representing peace. Around the rim appear the inscriptions United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter dollar. This elegant reverse remained in use until the introduction of the state quarters program decades later. Unlike quarters minted before 1965, the 1965 Washington quarter is made from a copper core covered by outer layers of copper and nickel. It weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter, and has a reeded edge. Because it contains no silver, collector value depends on rarity, condition, mint errors, and demand rather than precious metal content. Today's featured coin is described as having a black condition. Dark toning can develop naturally over decades because of storage conditions, humidity, chemical exposure, or environmental factors. Some collectors appreciate attractive natural toning because it gives each coin a unique appearance. However, heavy corrosion or environmental damage generally reduces collector value. The difference between beautiful natural toning and damage is something experienced collectors learn to recognize. Although millions of 1965 quarters were produced, finding one in outstanding condition is much more difficult than many people realize. Most examples spent decades in circulation, collecting scratches, dents, and wear. Coins with sharp details, original luster, and minimal contact marks are much scarcer today than heavily circulated examples. Collectors also pay close attention to mint errors found on 1965 Washington quarters. Some of the most desirable include doubled dies, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, struck-through errors, broad strikes, and transitional varieties. One of the most famous rarities is the extremely scarce 1965 quarter mistakenly struck on a silver planchet, which has sold for thousands of dollars because of its rarity. Professional grading plays an important role in determining a coin's value. Organizations such as PCGS and NGC carefully evaluate a coin's preservation, strike quality, luster, and originality. Coins certified in high mint state grades often command significantly higher prices than circulated examples, because collectors know they have been independently authenticated. Many beginning collectors are surprised to learn that online asking prices can be misleading. Some sellers advertise ordinary quarters for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, but asking prices do not necessarily represent actual market values. Serious collectors study completed auction sales, professional certifications, and verified market data before deciding what a coin is truly worth. If you have a jar of old quarters at home, don't overlook the 1965 issue. Check the weight, the edge, the strike quality, and any unusual characteristics. Pay special attention to possible mint errors, and remember that an authentic 1965 circulation quarter should not have a mint mark. Careful examination can make all the difference between an ordinary coin and a remarkable collectible. The 1965 Washington quarter represents the beginning of the modern clad coinage era in the United States. It tells the story of changing economics, evolving mint technology, and one of the most significant reforms in American coin history. For collectors, it remains an essential piece of any Washington quarter collection. Next coin, number 2. This 1977 Washington quarter without a mint mark. Millions of these quarters passed through the hands of Americans during the late 1970s, and many are still hiding in old coin jars, dresser drawers, and family collections. While most examples are common, certain coins in exceptional condition or with rare mint errors have attracted significant collector interest. In this video, we'll discuss the history, design, identification, grading, possible errors, and why some collectors pay impressive amounts for selected examples. Stay with us until the end, because you may discover that an ordinary-looking quarter deserves a much closer inspection. The Washington quarter has been one of the most recognizable coins in American history since it first appeared in 1932. Created to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the coin quickly became a favorite among collectors and the general public. By 1977, the Washington quarter had already been circulating for more than 4 decades, serving as one of the workhorses of everyday American commerce. The 1977 quarter, without a mint mark, was produced for circulation at the Philadelphia Mint, which at that time did not place a mint mark on its regular quarters. Hundreds of millions were struck, making this one of the most common dates in the series. The 1977 Washington quarter is a copper-nickel-clad coin rather than a silver issue. Since 1965 regular circulation quarters have been produced with outer layers of copper and nickel bonded to a pure copper core. The coin weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter, and features a reeded edge. Because it contains no silver, its collectible value depends almost entirely on condition, rarity, demand, and the presence of unusual mint errors. Today's featured example is described as being in very fine condition. In coin grading, very fine means the coin has experienced noticeable circulation, but still retains many sharp details. Washington's hair remains visible, facial features are well defined, and much of the eagle's feathers can still be identified. The lettering is complete, and the overall appearance remains attractive despite moderate wear. Very fine coins are popular among collectors because they display plenty of original detail while remaining affordable. One of the biggest misconceptions among new collectors is that every old quarter is automatically valuable. In reality, most circulated 1977 quarters remain worth only their face value because of their enormous production numbers. What separates an ordinary coin from an expensive collectible is exceptional preservation or the presence of an authentic mint error. Superb mint state examples, especially those certified by major grading services, can command significant premiums. Collectors carefully inspect 1977 quarters for unusual characteristics. Doubled dies, off-center strikes, die cracks, clipped planchets, struck-through errors, and dramatic double strikes are all examples of mint errors that can dramatically increase a coin's desirability. Genuine errors are much scarcer than ordinary circulation coins, which explains why collectors are willing to pay substantial premiums for authenticated examples. Online collector discussions also show that dramatic double strike and major striking errors on 1,977 quarters generate considerable excitement. Another important factor affecting value is originality. Collectors generally prefer coins that have never been cleaned, polished, or artificially altered. Original surfaces, even with honest circulation wear, are usually considered more desirable than cleaned examples. If your quarter still shows natural color, crisp details, and minimal damage, it may be more appealing than a brighter coin that has been improperly cleaned. Many people search online and find listings asking hundreds or even thousands of dollars for ordinary quarters. It's important to understand that asking prices do not necessarily reflect actual market value. Professional collectors rely on completed auction sales, certified grades, rarity, and collector demand instead of unsold listings. This is why authentication by respected grading companies such as PCGS or NGC is often recommended before assigning a high value to any coin. Could a 1,977 Washington quarter without a mint mark really sell for $251? Under normal circumstances, a very fine example would not typically reach that level. However, an unusually well-preserved specimen with outstanding eye appeal or a significant authenticated mint error could attract much stronger collector interest than an ordinary circulated coin. As always, accurate grading and professional authentication are the keys to determining a coin's true market value. Before spending any old quarter you receive in change, take a few moments to examine it carefully. Look for the date, the absence or presence of a mint mark, unusual doubling, striking errors, edge abnormalities, and overall condition. Many experienced collectors built remarkable collections simply by paying attention to everyday pocket change. While most coins are common, every now and then an overlooked treasure appears where nobody expected it. Next coin, number 3. This 1,997 Washington quarter with the P mint mark, one of the last Washington quarters produced before the famous 50-state quarters program completely changed American coin collecting. At first glance, this coin may seem like an ordinary 25-cent piece, but many collectors carefully inspect every 1,997 P quarter because certain examples in outstanding condition or with rare mint errors can attract impressive attention. Today we'll explore its fascinating history, unique design, grading, rarity, mint errors, collector demand, and discuss why some examples have been associated with values as high as $231. The Washington quarter has remained one of America's most recognizable coins since its introduction in 1932. Originally created to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the design quickly became a permanent part of United States coinage. By 1997, the Washington quarter had already served Americans for 65 years. It was also historically significant because it represented the final full year before the introduction of the popular state quarters series in 1999. As a result, many collectors include the 1,997 with P quarter as an important closing chapter of the original Washington quarter design. The 1,997 with P quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, identified by the small P mint mark located on the obverse beside Washington's ponytail. Unlike earlier decades when Philadelphia coins often carried no mint mark, quarters produced during the 1,990 displayed the P mint mark, making identification simple for collectors. The Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of these quarters for circulation, meaning the date itself is not considered rare. Turning the coin over reveals one of the most recognizable reverse designs in American numismatic history. A powerful eagle stands proudly with its wings fully extended while holding a bundle of arrows, representing America's strength and readiness to defend freedom. Beneath the eagle are graceful olive branches symbolizing peace. The 1,997 with P Washington quarter is composed of a copper core covered by outer layers of copper and nickel. Unlike quarters minted before 1965, it contains no silver. The coin weighs 5.67 grams, measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter, and features the familiar reeded edge. Because it has no precious metal content, its collector value depends on rarity, preservation, demand, and any unusual minting characteristics. Today's featured example is described as being in very fine condition. In the coin grading system, very fine indicates that the coin has seen moderate circulation, while retaining strong overall detail. Washington's hair remains well-defined, facial features are clear, and much of the original design can still be appreciated. On the reverse, the eagle's feathers remain visible, although some wear is noticeable on the highest points. Coins in very fine condition are popular with collectors because they balance affordability with attractive detail. Although millions of 1,997 with P quarters entered circulation, not all examples have survived in collectible condition. Many spent years moving through cash registers, vending machines, banks, and everyday commerce, accumulating scratches, wear, and damage. Finding an example with clean surfaces, strong details, and attractive eye appeal can be more difficult than many people expect. This is one reason collectors always inspect older circulation coins carefully. Another exciting part of collecting the 1,997 with P quarter is the possibility of discovering mint errors. While most quarters were produced normally, a small number display unusual striking mistakes that make them highly collectible. These include off-center strikes, clipped planchets, die cracks, struck-through errors, double strikes, and various forms of doubled dies. Authentic mint errors are much scarcer than standard circulation coins and often command premiums far above ordinary examples. One mistake made by many beginning collectors is assuming that every old quarter listed online for hundreds of dollars is actually worth that amount. Many internet listings feature unrealistic asking prices that never result in actual sales. Experienced collectors instead study completed auction results, population reports, and professional grading records before determining a coin's realistic market value. This careful approach helps separate genuine rarities from ordinary circulation coins. If you have a jar of old quarters at home, now is an excellent time to examine them carefully. Look for the 1,997 date, the P mint mark, strong details, attractive surfaces, and any unusual characteristics that might indicate a mint error. Even though most examples remain common, the excitement of searching is one of the greatest joys of coin collecting. Every experienced collector knows that valuable discoveries often begin with careful observation and patience. The 1,997 with P Washington quarter represents an important moment in American coin history. It marks the end of the traditional Washington quarter era just before the state quarters program transformed modern coin collecting. Whether you are a beginner or an experienced numismatist, this coin deserves a place in your collection because it connects two major eras of United States coinage. Thank you for watching today's video. If you enjoyed learning about the 1,997 with P Washington quarter, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss our latest videos featuring rare US coins, valuable mint errors, hidden treasures, and exciting coin collecting discoveries. Keep checking your pocket change. You never know when your next quarter could become your next great collectible treasure.